Yo, what up? So we're going to be breaking down UFC 239, but first off, just if you're going to be going to this event, if you're going to be here during International Fight Week, just put it in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter or wherever on my email, and let me know, because I'm going to be at the event. I'm going to be out here, so maybe we could, meet up, do whatever. It would be pretty cool. But yeah, so the first fight of the night with Pannie Kianzad against Julia Avila, and Pannie Kianzad, she jumped in on short notice to get back in the UFC, and she had a successful run on Ultimate Fighter 28. She made it to the finals, but she ended up losing to Chiesa, who we've seen is a pretty good fighter. She wasn't given a contract, and she did get a win outside the organization, and was able to jump right back in here. And she did just fight in May, so she's fighting pretty soon. But I would say Kianzad is technical at range. She counters well with her lead hand. She has a very good jab. She has a good left hook, and she's good at walking opponents into those shots. She has good lateral movement and pretty solid straight right hand. At range, though, she usually throws only one-shot attacks. She kind of likes to stick and move, and she will try to double jab her way inside. And when she wants to get inside or back opponents to the fence, she will throw a left hook straight right hand or blitz forward with kind of straight punch combos, but she's not very technical with that. But she is good at mixing it up to the body with jabs, with hooks. Her kicks aren't very dangerous. She doesn't throw them much, but she will throw occasional leg or body kicks. She does have power in her hands. I've seen her drop her opponents, and most often she drops people with the left hook. And she does have 3 KO TKOs, and she has been TKO'd 1 time. And Kianzad, I would say, is a good grappler, but not a great grappler. I kind of see her trying to get it to the ground in this fight. She uses her combinations to crash into the clinch. She will dig some pretty strong double underhooks. She has nice knees, short punches. She has solid body locks, good blast doubles in space. Her takedown defense is pretty good, but she was out-grappled in her fight with Chiesa. And she was controlled, beat up in the clinch with knees, with elbows. She was taken down. She gave her back, and ultimately she got tapped out. That fight was at 146 pounds, so I don't know if many opponents will be able to bully Kianzad like that. Kianzad is good in her guard. She has good triangles, arm bars. She's aggressive. She did give her back going for a belly down armbar, and she was submitted. That's how she got submitted against Macy, but she doesn't have any submissions in her career. She does have good top control, ground and pound, and I see her trying to use her grappling in this match to mix it up, stop the forward pressure of Avila. Kianzad's 3 losses have all come on the ground, and Avila is a decent BJJ player, so when she takes her down, she has to be careful, but I do think she will be able to control on top. Kianzad's more experienced. She's fought under the UFC lights. She's more active, and she needs to try to stay technical, angle and counter. Look to mix it up, get some takedowns, and she has to fight at her pace. She can't let Avila make it that kinetic brawl that she likes. But Julia Avila, she's a solid prospect. She's dynamic with her striking. She has finishing ability, and she was able to knock out her last opponent with a front kick to the face. She also holds wins over Marion Renault, Nico Montano, and her only loss was due to an injury, so she's essentially still undefeated. She's extremely aggressive. There's no feeling out process. She'll unload with straight punch, hook combinations from the opening bell. She has a jab. She has a solid 1-2. Her overhand right and her right hooks are just very powerful, and she's good at mixing up uppercuts in her combinations. She will throw round kicks to the body. She has good front kicks to the body and the head as well. And she is a finisher. She definitely has an edge to her. She has big power, and she's fast when she lets her hands go. She'll overwhelm opponents against the cage. Tremendous cardio. 3 knockouts, including 2 in a row in her last 2 fights. And her 1 loss was due to a TKO, but it was due to a hand injury. And Avila will use her punching combinations to crash into the clinch against the cage. She has pretty solid clinch control, but she doesn't have great takedowns. She will throw some nasty knees to the body, to the head, hard elbows, and she has okay body locks, but her defensive wrestling is, I would say, average. She has good takedown defense against the cage. She'll make opponents pay with elbows and punches, but when she does get taken down, she seems to have a good defensive guard. She'll attack with arm bars. And if she's taken down by Kianzad, I think she may have some issues in terms of standing back up, but I don't know if she'll be in much danger in terms of getting finished. She needs to defend the takedowns here, keep it on the feet though, and she does have one armbar submission, but the game plan here is easy for Avila. Go forward, do damage, defend the takedowns, and when she gets Kianzad near the cage, she's dangerous, unload with shots, and if she can stand up when she's taken down or defend the takedowns, continue to press forward, she could tire Kianzad out. Kianzad's coming in on short notice, and I don't know if Kianzad has the hand speed in close range to contend with Avila. And I think Julia Avila looks good. She needs to come forward, boss the fight, and if she can control the pace, keep it on the feet, control the center, I think she's most likely going to win. And so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to pick Julia Avila to get the job done and get a decision victory here. And up next we have a fight where a lot of people are thinking it's a walkthrough, and it very well may be, but I actually think this could be a tougher fight than some people think. But Ismail Naurdiev, he netted one of the biggest upsets of the year. He halted the momentum of Michel Prazeres back in February, and he looked very good in that match. He's only 23 years old, so he looks like a pretty phenomenal prospect. And he's light on his feet. He has a long karate stance, solid in and out movement, very good jab, inside leg kicks, and he has a very good lead leg. He'll throw front kicks, side kicks to the head, to the body. He'll throw a 1-2 to a round kick to the body. He closes the distance extremely fast with straight punch combinations and just super explosive. Very nice rear uppercuts, and he's very accurate. If he can get opponents backed up near the cage, he has finishing ability and nasty spinning back kicks, spinning back elbows, jump knees, just very dynamic. He is hittable though. He loads up on a lot of shots, and he's much better when opponents give him space. When opponents go forward, make him go backwards. He isn't as dangerous. He does have 11 KO TKOs. He's never been finished by strikes, and he proved he's a very good grappler. His takedown defense cost him a fight against Ismail Jesus, but it looked amazing versus Prazeres. At 23 years old, he's rapidly improving. He was using an excellent whizzer, underhooks to defend takedowns, amazing balance when opponents go for singles, and he could jump on one leg, kind of a la BJ Penn there. He was able to explode, sweep a credentialed black belt in Michel Prazeres multiple times, and he was efficient on top. He landed big ground and pound. He even took dominant positions like the mount, the back. He won the grappling with Prazeres, which was highly impressive. And he has strong double legs. He can pick opponents up, slam them, and on top he has nasty ground and pound. Very accurate. He'll take the back, flatten opponents out, but he is an active seeker of the takedown. I could potentially see him looking for takedowns in this fight, though. He has 5 career submissions, and Naurdiev is definitely going to be the superior athlete here. He's going to be the fighter going forward, pushing the pace. I think he needs to be more technical in this match, though. I think he won't have to worry with as many takedown attempts, so he can open up more. And he needs to use his jab as he goes forward, work behind his kicks. I think if he can back Chance up behind the warning track, he's dangerous with those blitzes, with those spin attacks. I also feel if he can time a takedown and take top position, he's going to have success on top of Rencountre. But Chance Rencountre, he's a solid grappler. He's fighting out of Alliance, and he had a good performance in his last match. He submitted Kyle Stewart in the first round. He's a southpaw. He's not a bad striker. He likes to fight long on the feet, good lateral movement. He fakes and feints. Good straight left hand. He has a pretty good jab, but he doesn't throw it as often as he should, in my opinion. He will throw a very good check right hook or right hook straight left hand combination. He will throw occasional leg and body kicks as well, and he likes to finish combinations with leg kicks. He will also throw rear leg front kicks to the body, to the head, and he's light on his feet, but he does have a hands down style. He is pretty hittable, but he started training now full-time at Alliance, and I'm sure that's going to help him clean up his defense a little bit. He definitely has a great chin. He'll take a shot to give one. He'll stick in the pocket and trade. He's never been finished by strikes, and he has 6 career KO TKOs. He kind of has like a poor man's version of Michael Johnson on the feet. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the speed, but he kind of tries to strike in a similar manner. But he's a former college wrestler. He's a strong submission fighter. He has great timing on his shots, excellent single leg, good job of feinting the jab or the right hook, ducking under for the single, and a good blast double as well. And Rencountre is good in top position. He passes well. He has long limbs. It helps him lock in chokes. He's won his last 3 fights via submission. He's good at staying attached to opponents as they try to stand up with that long frame also. Good at jumping on the back from standing position. He has 2 rear naked chokes. He has good takedown defense, but he was taken down multiple times by Belal Muhammad. He does look pretty good off his back. He has a good butterfly guard. He's hard to hold down. Belal was able to take Rencountre's back late in the fight, but I think that was more due to Chance being desperate to get up because it was short time. He knew he was losing. He's never been finished. I feel the style of Rencountre is going to be tricky for Naurdiev. Naurdiev is still hittable, and if Rencountre can use his lateral movement, walk Naurdiev into the straight left hands, the right hooks, if he can start to land the left clean, he may be able to duck under, get a single leg, and I think Rencountre is going to have the better cardio, but less margin for error. He isn't a finisher. Naurdiev is, and he can't make a mistake against him. He has never been finished, and his chin, could possibly help him with the fight. If he can do his thing, stick and move for 3 rounds, makes in a couple takedowns, he might be able to win a fight, and I think there's value on Rencountre, but at some point I see Naurdiev exploding in, getting the finish, and I'm going to say Naurdiev via second round TKO. I just think that the athleticism gap is too much. I think Naurdiev's improving really quickly, has a lot of experience, and I just think at some point in time he's going to catch Chance Rencountre and get the finish here. So I'm going with Ismail Naurdiev via second round KO TKO. And up next here we have a fight with Edmen Shabazyan taking on Jack Marshman. And Edmen Shabazyan is one of the better prospects in MMA. He's only 21. He's 2-0 already in the UFC. And the UFC seems to like him because they've been giving him favorable matchups. He's going to be taking on veteran striker and Jack Marshman. And Shabazyan, he's big, he's physical for the division. He's finished all but one of his fights early in the first round. And he's coming off another quick knockout of Charles Byrd. Shabazyan, he has a very good jab. He'll double jab into a left hook. He has a good 1-2. He has a double jab 2 as well. Fast hand speed. He'll let go with heavy hooks and uppercuts. And in the pocket, he definitely has power. He'll try to overwhelm opponents early, get him out of there. And he's finished 6 of his 9 opponents by knockout in under 1 minute and 10 seconds. He has heavy kicks, but he doesn't throw them too often. Good round front kicks to the body, heavy rear leg head kicks. When he kicks, he tends to float his chin out there with his hands low. He doesn't have the best defense when he strikes. I would look to wrestle in this match. He also stands tall. His chin is kind of out there. He doesn't move his head. And opponents who can, eat his power or slip and counter can connect on him. Darren Stewart was able to land some big shots in their fight, especially when Shabazyan's back was near the cage. He did show a good chin in that match because Stewart can crack, and he didn't really get rocked too bad, but he also showed composure when he was hurt and tired. He was able to tie Stewart up, take him down, survive that 3rd round, seal the fight. In this fight, I feel Shabazyan should look to wrestle early, get some pop off Marshman's punches, reduce his power, and just kind of try to wear him out a little bit. And he has 8 KO TKOs all in round 1. Shabazyan is a strong wrestler. He showed that off against Darren Stewart, and he's able to muscle Stewart in a clinch, take him down. He's good at landing that double jab a couple times, getting respect with it, feinting it into a body lock or into a single or double. Good double legs in space, but he's best at getting takedowns against the cage for sure. He has good chain wrestling. When he gets in on opponent's legs, gets the cage, he'll transition, between doubles, singles, body locks. He'll come up into double underhooks, circle to the back, try to get takedowns. He was able to take down Stewart, take his back a couple times. In this fight, I think he should try to take Marshman down, grind him out. If he can get to dominant positions, he does have the ground and pound to finish the fight. And I think if he can take Marshman down, burn some of his cardio, there's going to be less risk when he's striking with Marshman also. Shabazyan should look to use his jab, back Marshman up, clinch him up. I think he's going to be able to control him there and probably get takedowns. He needs to fight smart, which he's proven he could do versus Stewart, and I do believe he has the faster hand speed. He hits hard, so if he can land and rock Marshman, it wouldn't shock me, but I think Marshman could land in a situation where they're just trading. If Shabazyan uses grappling, fights smart, he definitely has a high likelihood of winning, though. For Marshman, he snapped a 2-fight skid with a decision victory over John Phillips in his last fight, and that was very controversial. It was a split decision. And Marshman, he's a sizable underdog here. He looks to be kind of being fed to these young prospects. He had to fight Carl Roberson as well. But he's a boxer. He's quick for the division. He likes to use a lot of feints and, work on the outside. Good head movement. And he can close the distance with some big, powerful overhand, some hooks. And he's very dangerous in close range. Fast hands in the pocket. He could throw 3 or 4 shots at a time. Good job slipping and ripping. And if he's to win, I see him kind of getting the finishing exchange like that. He does have good footwork. He does a great job cutting the cage off when he's going forward. He'll throw nice jab, straight punches, close the distance with good lead uppercuts. And he'll also throw to the body with shots. Doesn't throw a lot of kicks, but he will throw, a few leg kicks. He did throw a lot more kicks at his last fight. He has been finished 4 times, and he's a tough guy, but he has a questionable chin. He has 13 KO TKO, so he can definitely finish someone, but he's not a good grappler. He's definitely a very poor wrestler. His takedown defense is 17%, and he's tough, though. He's only been submitted 1 time, but he can be grinded out. When he was taken down by Shoeface, he was quickly submitted. He did do a decent job of retaining half guard for a little bit, but ultimately, though, he gave his back. He was submitted with a rear naked choke, and he doesn't look to have good get-ups. Doesn't move his hips much. He kind of lays flat on his back at times. He does have a few submissions on his back, like triangles and arm bars against regional level competition, but he doesn't go for takedowns. He doesn't try to get in the clinch. Even in his last match against John Phillips, who has terrible takedown defense, he couldn't take him down. If he hurts you, he will get on top. He has a few submissions. He has 5 submissions, but he slows down. He's most dangerous in those early rounds. Marshman needs to try to walk Shabazyan into counters, force him into pocket exchanges. He needs to try to land a big shot that gets Shabazyan's respect early, make him think about shooting takedowns. If he could force Shabazyan to trade with him, he has a chance to catch him. Shabazyan floats his chin. Marshman can crack. I think Shabazyan's going to make Jack Marshman, I think he's just going to wrestle fuck him, man. I think he's going to body him up against the cage, work him down, get takedowns, grind him out, and get a decision victory or a TKO finish on the ground. So I'm going with Edmen Shabazyan to get the win there. And this is an awesome fight we have up next with Yadong Song taking on Alejandro Perez. And, Song, he's a super prospect. He's 3-0. He's getting a big step up in competition, though, here. He's fighting Alejandro Perez, who's sitting right outside of the top 15. And, he's had a long time to prepare for Perez. He should be ready to go. They were supposed to fight, a little while ago, and he had to pull out. But Alejandro Perez, he had his 7-fight UFC unbeaten streak snapped in his last fight. He lost that close decision to Cody Stamann. Stamann was a late notice replacement for Yadong Song, so that could have thrown him off a little bit. But Yadong had a knee injury that forced him out. And Perez, he's an intense individual. He's definitely going to be the best fighter Song has ever fought. And he's known for crazy antics during fight week. He tries to punk opponents out. Song has to be ready for all those veteran tricks, Perez throws. And, I think, this fight's going to be close. I think that, it could be close, but I don't know. I don't know why I said it's going to be close. I think it could be close if Perez fights the right way. But, Song's an incredible athlete. He's one of the most explosive, powerful fighters in the division. He's 2 finishes and 3 UFC wins, 1 punch knockout power. And he likes to pressure forward, cut off the cage, but he's very light on his feet. Long karate stance, very fast in and out, and his distance control is just incredible. He could slide in and out of range just very well. He's excellent at cutting off the cage, making opponents fight, skirting the outskirts. He has a great jab. He'll double jab his way into range. He'll throw heavy low kicks, really tight 1-2s, and he has a nasty straight and right hook. He has a good left hook, right straight combination. Throw nice uppercuts, left hooks. His overhand right is nasty as well, man. He's knocked opponents out stiff with that. He'll work the body. Good job of slipping and ripping. He's great balance. This guy is really just really good on the feet. Smooth, fluid, very little wasted movement. Really nice spinning back kicks, body and head, almost zero telegraph. And I think the in and out movement of Song is going to cause Turbo a lot of issues. I expect Song to be the one controlling the center. And if he can back press up, land, and exit, he's probably going to knock him out. Song is a warrior. When he gets hit, he wants to get it right back, but he has good defense. And when he gets hit, he does return immediately with combinations, which could get you in trouble, but I mean, it looks like he has a great chin, and he returns quickly, man. But he has 4 KO, TKOs. That can be a bit deceiving, though. He started fighting very young, and his power looks much more prevalent now. He has 3 TKOs in his last 8 fights. Song is a strong fighter for bantamweight. You could really see it in the grappling exchanges. In the clinch, he just bullies fighters with knees, with elbows. He could throw opponents around. He landed a nasty elbow in his last match in the clinch that dropped, finished Aranches. His takedown defense is just really good. He was easily able to reverse the double leg of Aranches. He ended up in top position, landed pretty brutal ground and pound. He also does a good job of, staying heavy in top position, posturing up, laying hard punches, and, he has good submission defense. He never has his hands on the mat. He's always very tight, and he has good back takes, great control, good arm triangles. You can see he's really improving with his grappling. Great timing on double legs against Vince Morales. And he isn't someone who will push for takedowns. He kind of just goes with the flow. He takes them if they're readily available. He only has 3 submissions, and he's never been submitted, but he's still young in his career. He did get a bit tired late in round 3 in his last fight, but Song is going to be the one going forward, trying to cut off the cage. I see him using his jabs, his leg kicks, to back press up, then trying to land those bigger shots as he's in and out. I think he's more durable with the better chin, but he shouldn't trade with Perez, just try to stay technical, and the knockout will probably come. But Turbo Perez, he's a boxer. He's a counter puncher. He has good lateral movement, good lead hand. His jab is fast. It's sharp. Very nice left hook. He'll use a left hook moving backwards, but in the pocket, he really sits down on it with power. He has nasty low leg kicks, and he'll throw a nice 1-2. Very good straight right hand. Very good overhand right. He'll throw stepping knees to the body, round kicks to the body, and he's very good at slipping and ripping in the pocket. Very fast in exchanges, dangerous. If he lands clean, he can hurt fighters. He doesn't have the dynamism that Song has, though. He's much more meat and potatoes, but he's very effective. He's low volume. He fights at a slow pace. He makes a lot of fighters, fight his type of fight. And he's good at winning those close decisions. He does have a questionable chin. He can get dropped, but he recovers quickly. Great cardio. He's only been finished by strikes 1 time, and he has 10 KO TKOs. And Perez is an awesome defensive grappler. He'll gas opponents out by defending takedowns, bouncing right back up. And we saw that against Matt Lopez. He was taken down early, survived. He got up, turned up the heat, TKO'd him. He trains at AKA. He's a great wrestling gym, and he has really improved his takedown defense. Very heavy sprawl, fast hips. He does a good job of landing knees to the body, disengaging from the clinch. He'll shuck fighters away with double underhooks. Cody Stamann, who's a great wrestler, he was unable to take Perez down. Perez did get taken down a couple times by Lopez, but he's a good scrambler. He was able to scramble back up to his feet. And he has 5 submissions in his career. He's been submitted 3 times. But Perez should look to goad Song into exchanges, use lateral movement, his leg kicks, straight punches. When Song goes wide, closing the distance. Then when Song wants to get it back and counter with hard punches, he needs to make this fight, in close range. If he allows Song space and a chance to get his timing, he may get picked apart. And I think Song's going to get the finish in this fight. I think he's going to be able to back and cut Perez off, piece him up. I think he's faster. I think he hits harder. He's more durable. I do expect him to exchange a bit, and I think his chin's going to hold up better. Perez has been dropped quite a few times. He's been finished, and Song, packs a big punch. I'm going to pick Song via second round KO with the overhand right as Perez is trying to back off the cage. So I'm going with Yadong Song via second round knockout here. And up next we have Claudia Gadelha against Randa Markos, and I'm just going to be short and sweet on this one. I don't want any part of this fight in terms of action. And I think that Claudia is clearly the better fighter. She's the better striker, better boxing. She has better grappling, but I don't know what's been going on with Claudia lately in terms of her cardio. It's been really lacking. She's been gassing out after that first round. And seems like she's kind of lost a little bit. She lost herself a little bit. She's been bouncing around gyms. She moved to Las Vegas, Now she's in Mark Henry's gym over there in New Jersey. So, I mean, hopefully that's a better fit for her over there, and she's going to be getting good training, because I think that, I don't think Randa's going to be able to take her down. I think if they grapple, Claudia has much better jiu-jitsu. She has much better wrestling. She has better striking. And, honestly, I could see this fight being a draw, man. I could see Claudia winning the first 2 rounds and then Randa getting a 10-8 in the third. But I'm going to pick Claudia Gadelha via decision here. But I want no parts of this fight. Next year, I love this fight because we're about to see what's up with this fight. Arnold Allen taking on Gil Melendez. And, a lot of people have been talking a lot of shit here about Gil Melendez. My boy Gil, they've been talking about he's completely over the hill. He's done. But, man, this is going to be the most high-profile fight of Arnold Allen's career. He's going to face a legend, one of the best lightweights of all time. And Allen's catching Melendez at a good time. He is 37. He's no longer Gilbert Melendez we all knew and loved. But, he's returning from a long layoff. It looks intriguing, for Allen to get a big win here, it seems. But Allen himself has been known for long layoffs, and this is the first time in his UFC career he's fought more than once in the same calendar year, so that's pretty shocking. But Gilbert Melendez, he still feels like he has something left. He hasn't won a fight since 2013, but he still has the desire. And, that's a little bit weird to say that because, he did have that very close fight with Eddie Alvarez where could have went either way on that one. He had the fight with Anthony Pettis where he lost via submission. He was winning that fight. So it's not like he's looked horrendous. Even in his last couple fights with Stevens, with Barbosa, he, obviously hasn't looked the best in those fights, but he didn't get completely outclassed and dominated. But, I still think that he's coming back here for the right reasons. Obviously, he's coming in here to get the $150,000 paycheck or however much he's getting paid, but I think that if he, wasn't right, if he was looking terrible in the gym, I don't think he would just come in here to get an ass whooping. But, because he has that job at ESPN, he's had that job for a long time now. I know his wife fights, and he did just win a grappling match against Pat Healy, but he hasn't fought since October of 2017. But Arnold Allen, he's used to being able to go forward in most fights, be the aggressor. In his last fight, he did show some better composure. He was using some lateral footwork. He was trying to land, not getting hit, or land and not get hit. But he's very fast with his in and out movement. And he's used a superior foot speed in this fight. Keep Gilbert on the outside. The problem for Arnold, to me here, is I don't think he's very dangerous for Gilbert. When he punches, he does leave himself a bit open. And I think if they exchange, I think Gilbert's going to win the exchanges. But Gilbert's hand speed is still there, in 2017 at least. He has power, he has fast hand speed. His forward pressure is still great. Even with one leg against Stevens and Barbosa, who are two of the best leg kickers, not just in the division, but in the UFC, he was continually to go forward. He was landing some bombs on Stevens. He dropped Barbosa. But Allen has never showed leg kicks like that. They aren't the main weapon of his game. His grappling defense is questionable. He was taken down a ton by Mads Burnell, by Americani. He was able to scramble with those guys, but I don't think he's going to be able to scramble with Gil Melendez. Melendez has tremendous head positioning, pressure, and I see Melendez using takedowns to control periods of the fight. I think when Allen explodes forward with combinations, that's when Melendez is going to duck under and try to grapple. I think when he's going forward, forcing Allen to go backwards, he's going to be landing more. He's going to be landing heavier. That jab's going to be popping. Allen's fought very low-level competition, man. I mean, if you look, every single win he has in the UFC besides Mako and Americani, those guys aren't in the UFC anymore. And, he's also had 3 UFC fights. He's gotten pretty lucky in, 2 late finishes against Allen Omar and Mads Burnell, where he's losing those fights, and the split decision where it could have went either way with Makwan. I just think Melendez, for one, he's an analyst, man. He has to adapt a bit. I expect him to adapt with those kicks, come in, fighting at least a little different. And I think he's going to land some bombs with his boxing, get takedowns. I think he's just going to make this a scrap, beat this kid up, man, give him a vet lesson. And if Melendez can't cut him off and Ardo part shots him all night, then it happens. But I'm going to say Melendez via decision here. This may be a hard overhead pick, but, fuck it. I got Melendez to win this bitch. And, I actually have a bet on Melendez. I think the line is off, man. I mean, how could you say that Arnold Allen could be this big of a favorite over Gil Melendez when you've seen him get taken down for 3 consecutive rounds by guys like Mads Burnell? So I don't know. I think it's worth it taking the risk on Gilbert Melendez, and I'm picking Gilbert Melendez to get the win here via decision. Man, I can't wait for this fight either with Michael Chiesa against Thiago Sanchez. And Chiesa's looking to build off that debut win at 170. He was able to take out, a post-prime Carlos Condit. But he's getting an opportunity here to knock off another legend in Thiago Sanchez. So whatever you want to say about it, post-prime, both these guys non-post-prime, he's still names on his resume. Thiago Sanchez, he's enjoyed a career renaissance of late. He went back to his grappling roots. He put it on his last two opponents. He was able to finish Mickey Gall in his last fight. And Sanchez's last two opponents haven't been UFC caliber. If he can take Chiesa out, that's truly going to prove he's back. But, he's been saying some funky things coming up to this fight. He's left Jackson Wink. He's training with, one guy who's, supposedly, a killer. He's, a really good fighter. But he's talking about wanting to die in the octagon, not caring about his kids. And, he has a killer's mindset right now. I guess he's trying to harness that all for one last run. But this is going to be a good fight, man. Chiesa's going to be the longer southpaw. He should try to utilize his reach. Chiesa tries to fight long with those 1-2s, those front kicks, but he isn't fast. He isn't super dangerous. And, he can keep fighters on the outside with the strikes only because fighters don't want to get inside and allow Chiesa to clinch up with them usually. But, I think that Diego's going to invite that. I think that Diego's going to welcome being in the inside. So I think he's going to kind of largely jam the striking of Chiesa maybe. If he sticks around on the outside, Chiesa could clip him, and he needs to be on the inside in Chiesa's chest, on the feet. And, Chiesa, to counter that, definitely needs to work the clinch. Try to use his length, get Diego on the plum clinch, get Diego, hit him with some knees, with some elbows. But Chiesa's had some issues with fighters who can out-muscle him before. He was slammed with a double leg against Kevin Lee. He was taken down that way by Benil Dariush as well. But Chiesa's a grappler himself. He's a strong wrestler. He just put a wrestling clinic on Condit. He took him down at will. He used his reach pretty effectively in the clinch. And he's good at getting takedowns with his reach, denying takedowns as well. And he has a pressure top game. He likes to pressure pass the dominant positions. Really likes to take the back. Quite a few rear naked chokes in the UFC, and he can be swept and put in submission danger himself, though. He was controversially submitted by Kevin Lee. Then he was submitted by Anthony Pettis, who caught him in an armbar. He was submitted by George Masvidal. He was almost submitted and swept multiple times by Carlos Condit as well. Chiesa leaves openings himself. He has to be careful. Gets a black belt like Thiago Sanchez. I'm not sure what Chiesa's game plan is going to be here. He may try to keep it on their feet, stay long, work the clinch when Diego gets inside, just catch him, try to knock him out. Or he may try to take him down and work his top game as usual. But if I were Chiesa, I would try to use my striking and knock Diego out. Diego has a questionable chin. It won't take much to put him out, most likely. But Diego's going to go in there for the kill, man. I see Diego going balls to the wall from the opening bell. This is the last fight on his UFC contract, and I think he feels recharged now. I don't think he fears Chiesa at all. I think Diego's going to come straight forward, try to work some uppercuts, work some hooks, double leg Chiesa, and I don't see him trying to do much else. He may, throw a couple leg kicks, but I largely see him trying to get Chiesa on his back. If he can get on top, I think he's going to have success holding Chiesa down, landing ground and pound. And I see Diego trying to stay heavy in positions where he knows he can control, like the half guard, the side saddle, the crucifix. I think if he can, get to his positions, he's going to control and win the rounds. But Diego is the better of the two off their backs, in my opinion. He isn't necessarily a great guard player, but he's active with kimuras, with armbar attempts, and he throws in these nasty elbows from his guard. He's never been submitted. No one's been able to beat him up, get to dominant positions on the mat. And the same thing can't be said for Chiesa. I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up if Chiesa takes him down, though. And I really do feel, though, if Diego can back Chiesa up near the cage, he's going to take him down. I think that he's really strong right now, man. I watched a fight where he fought Jake Ellenberger in Submission Underground. It wasn't a fight, but this was recently, and he did lose via, fast escape time, but during the 5-minute roll, he was dominating Ellenberger, man. He took his back, and Ellenberger was 205 pounds. Diego was like 183 pounds, so that guy's going to be stronger than Chiesa, and he couldn't take Diego down, and Diego eventually got on top of him. So I think that Chiesa needs to get respect early, use his straight punches, his head kicks, his uppercuts as Diego tries to enter. And he's always going to be a grappler, so I definitely see him mixing it up, but Chiesa only has 2 TKOs. I don't know if he's going to be able to have the power to back Diego up. I think Diego has better cardio. He's relentless. I think he doesn't care what Diego or what Chiesa wants to do. He's going to do what he wants. And I think Chiesa's breakable, man. I'm going to roll with my boy Diego one more time. I think it's going to be a close back-and-forth fight, but I'm going to pick Diego Sanchez to win via split decision in this fight. And up next here we have Luke Rockhold. He enters his debut at light heavyweight as a slight favorite. And the former middleweight champion, he's had some issues making weight for a while now, so this was probably a good choice for him to move up. He needs a big win here to steady his career. He's lost 2 of his last 3 by KO, including his last loss to Yoel Romero, or his last fight. And he hasn't fought in about a year and a half. He's been battling a lot of injuries. And a loss here for Rockhold would be massive. It would almost essentially be a death blow to his title hopes. At 34 years old, he has to win. He has to win impressively to get back on the map. And he's seen fighters such as Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos move up, get title shots from middleweight very quickly. And he's probably thinking, why can't he? But Jan Blachowicz, he's no pushover, man. He's one of the more well-rounded fighters in the division. He's notoriously durable. He did lose a title eliminator in his last match. He got knocked out for the first time against Thiago Santos. And, Blachowicz also has his back against the wall. He needs to win if he ever wants to realize his dream of UFC champion. A loss here at 36 years old would dash all hopes of that, in my opinion, for him as well. But both these fighters are going to come in motivated and hungry. And Rockhold's going to want to stay in kicking range or all the way in this fight. He's going to want to use that left kick, those straight punches to back Blachowicz up, take him down. And I think that's a smart game plan at least. And, Rockhold has a questionable chin. In boxing range, he's very hittable, but has fast hand speed. And when he picks his punches well, when he's throwing straight down the middle, when he's throwing his jab, when he's popping, he's pretty good. But when he gets in those exchanges, he's very vulnerable. And Jano hits like a truck, man, so I don't think he wants to be there. This fight will be interesting as well because Rockhold struggles with body kicks. He can be hurt by them. We saw that against Chris Weidman, and Blachowicz throws a nasty body kick, so at range he may be looking for that. But if this fight is at kicking range, I think Rockhold definitely has the kicking fluidity, the speed advantage, the variety in the kicks. And he can throw both to the body and the head a little better. Rockhold doesn't shoot takedowns in space, and that's why he needs to be able to back Jan towards the cage or get body to body with him in the clinch. When he can get in on the clinch, he has excellent trips, excellent body locks, and I think if he takes Jan down, it could be over with one takedown. He's vicious on top, man. He has some of the best ground and pound in UFC history. Super heavy, postures up those hammers, excellent mount, excellent back control, and he'll flatten opponents out, finish with big shots. He has a solid rear naked choke. Rockhold has great takedown defense. And I just highly doubt that Jan's going to take him down. He also has a pretty good submission game. He'll attack with Kimuras, with guillotines. And he's an action fighter. None of his fights in the UFC have gone to decision. He's 6-3 with 3 submissions, 3 knockouts, and he's been knocked out 3 times. But all but one of his finishes have came on the ground, and when he gets in top position with enough time to work, the fight's usually over. Rockhold needs to get takedowns here. Blachowicz has not shown great takedown defense over his career, or get-ups, and he also tends to gas when he's forced to fight off his back. If Rockhold takes him down, I think he's going to win. That's the bottom line. He has to be respectful of the power of Jan, not go into boxing range much. I would barely throw hands at all, to be honest. If he can use his kicks, keep Jan at bay, back him up, take him down, he's probably going to win the fight and have an easy night's work. But Jan Blachowicz, he's going to want to get inside, jam the kicks of Rockhold, force him to work moving backwards. Rockhold struggles fighting off his back foot, and he'll try to throw some shots like check left hooks, some short hooks to back opponents off, but he leaves himself very open. He holds his hands low. He's always susceptible to that left hand, and he seems uncomfortable when opponents pressure. If he doesn't want to get into grappling range early, that Jan that is, he at least has to control the center and hold his ground. When Rockhold tries to close the distance, land his jab, land his uppercuts, he should try to throw body kicks also. I think he has to be more aggressive here though. In a lot of fights he starts slow, he likes to counter, and that's fine if he can catch Rockhold and knock him out, but to have a better chance to win this fight, I think he has to hold his ground, use his blitz attacks, his straight punches with hooks. He has to time them well to avoid being taken down. But Jan has nice boxing. If you can get a read on how Luke is moving, time and entry, catch that chin. He needs to attack the legs also, try to slow down Rockhold's movement, kicking game. And if he can back Rockhold up near the fence, he has to go for it, explode forward for the finish. But I think that Rockhold's going to get an early takedown win and have a statement type performance here. I think Jan will start slow. His takedown defense won't be enough to stop Rockhold. And I think that Rockhold's going to get one takedown and finish the fight with ground and pound. I think on the feet, he's going to have a good speed advantage with his punches, with his kicks. I think he's going to land some shots, get in, get out, get the takedown, and win via first round KO TKO in this fight. So I'm going with Luke Rockhold to make a big splash in his new division here. Next year we have Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal, and this is a huge grudge match. Askren, he skyrocketed up the rankings. He joined the UFC last year, and now he's in a possible number one contenders fight here. He's 19-0, so he's definitely earned it, but he's only had one controversial UFC win. He took kind of a shellacking against Robbie Lawler early. He got slammed on his head. He got almost knocked out cold, but he was able to steady himself pretty impressively. He locked in a bulldog choke, and Herb Dean broke it up early. Lawler said he was fine. Askren said he felt he was out. Askren was awarded the submission victory, but now Askren has sights on a cleaner UFC victory against Masvidal. And Masvidal, he's brought in as an opponent for Darren Till earlier this year. He was coming off a year-and-a-half layoff. He was fighting in Till's hometown, and he shocked everyone. He had a devastating knockout. He knocked Till's spark out. And Masvidal has shown big power since moving to 170. 4 of his 5 wins are by KO TKO. And that's what he's going to be wanting to do to Ben Askren here. He's going to be wanting to knock him the fuck out. But Askren and Masvidal are polar opposites. Askren's really been getting under George's skin. Masvidal has not even went to any of the press conferences, the stare downs. He doesn't even want to see Askren, I guess. But this fight's pretty basic. Masvidal is going to be trying to keep it on the feet. Askren will be trying to get it on the mat, and Masvidal has to do one of two things. He has to go forward with big aggression early, try to catch Askren cold, knock him out. I think that if he can't get him out of there, he needs to use footwork, counter. He can't get in that grapple zone with Askren. If Askren gets a hold of Masvidal, I see him being the much stronger man. We saw that with Damian Maia. When Maia was able to lock up with George, there was just a huge strength advantage there. George struggles with opponents who could attack with single legs and chain wrestling, which is what Askren brings, man. So this is a hard style for Masvidal to deal with. But, Masvidal has to go forward, but keep Askren at the end of his punches and his kicks. Throw straights, throw leg kicks, throw head kicks. He has to set those kicks up well, but he also needs to attack that body of Askren. Look for the uppercuts, look for knees. And Askren, is going to be trying to come inside going straight forward. So it's not like it's going to be hard for George to find him. He just has to land those shots, stick and move, or put him down. So Ben Askren's not going to fuck with the striking here. He's going to be in on the legs from the opening bell. His wrestling is top notch. And, his top game is just really good. He's a 2-time NCAA Division I champion. When he gets someone on the legs or a body lock and gets his hands together, there's no defending the takedown. He has great double legs. He can slam opponents with force. He can get nice body locks in the clinch. Really good single leg, really good ankle pick takedown, and he's a great job of shooting in on the legs, coming up into a body lock, driving through a takedown. Just some of the best chain wrestling in the UFC. And he'll shoot over and over. He's relentless with his takedowns. And Askren is amazing in top position. He loves to get to side control, then the crucifix. Really rains down heavy shots from there. He has good control. Great control from the wrestling ride position. Some of the best control I've seen in UFC. Where he gets... he can control a leg, he gets a seatbelt grip, he lands hard punches with the free hand, he'll take the back, he'll mount once his opponents are weathered, try to finish the fight. On the back, he finds opponents out, he'll go for ground and pound, he'll attack with arm triangles, rear naked chokes, and he has 5 career submissions. He's excellent at keeping top position, wearing on opponents, not letting them back up, zapping their energy, zapping their... just their mental fortitude to keep fighting. And he has no problem going on his back either. His nickname is Funky, and he does, and it's for a reason. He has fantastic scrambles. He'll use his butterfly hooks to offset the balance of opponents, slip out the back, get an underhook, come up into body locks. He'll go for leg locks. He isn't a big submission threat. Definitely likes ground and pound more. And at the end of the day, though, if you're getting taken down by guys like Maia, by guys like Mike Chiesa, I think Askren's going to take you down. And Masvidal is going to have to continuously stand up if taken down and punish Askren. And if he is to get taken down, I don't know if he could do that. I just think Askren is too strong, too good of a grappler. I think he's going to, make Masvidal take a plan B on Sunday morning. I don't think he will finish George, and I think George has a chance at the beginning of every round, but I got Ben winning here by decision pretty clearly. And, George Masvidal, he's one of my favorite fighters, man, and I would really hope that he would win the fight. I hope that he wins. I hope he goes in there and smokes Ben Askren, knocks him out cold, but the pick for me has to be Ben Askren via decision. He has a huge advantage there in the wrestling. He has advantage in the strength department, in my opinion, and I just don't think George is going to close that gap, man. I really don't. So I'm going Ben Askren to get it done there via decision, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him a title shot, but maybe that, along with his post-fight speech, his antics, will be enough. We'll see what happens there, but I'm going with Ben Askren. Now next year we have the co-main event. We have one of the 2 title fights on the card, and Amanda Nunes, she's looking to continue her quest to be the best of all time. She's beaten 4 all-time greats already: Cyborg, Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate, and now she's getting a chance at another scalp at Holly Holm. But Holly Holm is getting another chance to shock the world. She's coming back over 1 year off. Both girls last fought at 145 pounds, actually. Holm hasn't had the same success versus those all-time greats that Nunes has had. She's just 1-3. She lost to Cyborg. She lost to Shevchenko. She lost to Miesha Tate. She did defeat Ronda Rousey. Holm is 37 years old, and this is most likely her last shot at being UFC champion. And with this fight, it's going to be tougher for Nunes, in my opinion, than Cyborg. When women go forward, try to take the fight to Amanda, that's when they get dealt with. Ronda Rousey came forward, Miesha Tate, Cyborg all came forward, invited wars. That's the worst thing to do against Nunes. When she's forced to go first and go forward, she's been tentative in the past. She had a very close fight with Shevchenko. And I think Holly's game plan is going to be to, move, use her footwork or oblique kicks or leg kicks or, front knees or straight punches, and actually clinch up with Amanda as well. She had a takedown heavy game plan against Megan Anderson. It worked. And she was actually the stronger woman in the clinches versus Chris Cyborg. She was able to muscle Cyborg against the cage, control her with underhooks. And Nunes has stated her hardest opponent is going to be the weight cut. So I could see Holly clinching up with her, trying to slow her down, zap some energy, zap some power. And Holly has good straight punches, check left hooks moving backwards. She's always dangerous with her kicks, and I do think Amanda's going to respect that. I don't think Amanda's just going to come in crazy. I could see this being a slow fight, but I think Amanda might be past that stage potentially also. She is extremely confident. She may come in there, walk Holly down, let go, and knock her out, but we've never seen Holly finish by strikes in MMA, and the thing about Holly that may get her in trouble here, though, is when she punches moving backwards, it's not dangerous. She misses a lot. She struggles to get her range. And if she's doing it against Amanda, I see Amanda getting comfortable and letting off combinations after backing her up. I think Amanda's feints are going to be effective as well. I think Amanda's going to use a lot of feints to make Holly go first or move a bit, counter her shots. And it may even be smart to see Amanda grapple again, but I kind of doubt she's going to do that. I think there's going to be a feeling out process in this one, just like the Cyborg fight. I think Holm may win around early, but I think Amanda's going to be the one going forward, and I think that Amanda has more fluid combinations when she lands one shot than Chris Cyborg. When she lands one, man, she's going with 2, 3, 4, 5 coming right behind it. Very fast, very accurate, and, she's decent at cutting off the cage, but the thing is, like, when she fought Valentina, I don't know if what was up with her in that fight. She could have let off more in my opinion, and I think she is going to in this one. I think that she's going to, be able to back Holly Holm up and cut her off, because I don't think that Holm's going to be able to, unless she lands a head kick or something, I don't think she's going to land anything significant that backs up Amanda. So I think Amanda's going to be, fine going forward. I don't think she's going to worry about getting knocked out, and I think due to that, she's going to be able to land some big shots in the pocket, big shots in close range, kind of back her up and just start wearing on Holm by landing these big shots. I actually see Holm surviving, though. I think Amanda's going to win like 49-46 via decision, just landing the harder punches going forward. Because I think that Holly Holm, she's a survivor. She's someone that wants to see that final bell in fights. And she's always dangerous countering. And Amanda, has shown the propensity to not let off. But I think that if Amanda comes in there with a grappling game plan where she maybe wants to take Holly down, or if Holly clinches her up and she's able to judo throw her or something and get on top, She might be able to find a submission there. She might be able to get the TKO on the ground. But my pick's going to be Amanda Nunes via decision in that fight. And up next here we have Jon Jones taking on Thiago Santos. And this is going to be my most confident pick here, man. I'm going to Jon Jones. And the line's actually coming down to maybe not playable straight, but maybe playable in a parlay where I see he's like minus 525 now. He came down all the way from minus 800, so he's coming down pretty much a lot. So hopefully he continues to come down, drops that number. And, I don't know, man. I just don't think that Thiago has... Some people are saying Thiago's going to come in here and berserk him and knock him out, but it's like, if that's your only chance of winning a fight, and Jon Jones is going to have almost a 10-inch reach advantage on this guy, so he's going to be able to use his reach, man. I mean, he does it on everyone. He uses his jab, his front kicks up the middle, just stays technical, and I think that when Maheta comes inside, he's gonna take him down. Daniel Cormier was able to pressure heavy on Jon Jones because he has that grappling where he can't get taken down. Thiago's not going to be able to pressure heavy on Jon Jones and not get taken down here. I just do not see that happen. I mean, if Maheta goes in here and wins, it's going to be via a knockout, probably in the first round, where he just catches him. He just catches him clean, knocks him out. But other than that, man, I mean, I think that the distance control that Jon Jones has is phenomenal. I don't think that Maheta necessarily has like this great ability to close distance efficiently. He kind of just does it crazy. And Jones is going to be able to see that coming. I mean, he's seen all these guys, Shogun, who try to come in like that. And, Maheta just, I don't know, man. Maheta has a questionable chin as well. And what I think is going to happen, though, is I just think Jon Jones, at first, he's going to be using his reach, staying long, just very low risk, very smart fighting. And I think that Maheta is going to try to close that distance, get inside, try to land a big shot, and I think Jon Jones is going to take him down. And I think when Jon Jones takes him down, his top game is just next level, man. And I mean, we've seen Maheta struggle with guys on the ground like Eric Spicely. He was taken down and submitted by Eric in that fight. He was taken down by more than one guy, man. He was taken down also. I'm trying to think. I mean, I can't say that Maheta hasn't improved. Obviously, he even used a grappling game plan to take down Kevin Holland, beat up Kevin Holland. But he's not going to take down Jon Jones. He was taken down by Eric Anders. I mean, this guy, that's who I was thinking about. Yeah, Eric Anders took him down quite a few times, He does have good takedown defense when he gets an opponent desperate to get takedowns, but Jon Jones is going to be getting takedowns, timing takedowns well. I think he's going to be getting good clinch takedowns. I think in the clinch, he could beat Maheta up really bad also, man. I think that his length is going to give Maheta a lot of issues inside when they clinch up with each other. And I just don't see a lot of ways that Maheta can win this fight, man. I mean, obviously he can win by knockout, but what I think is going to happen is I think Jon Jones is going to take him down early on in that first round. I think he's going to beat him up with ground and pound and maybe submit him. If he doesn't finish him with the submission or ground and pound in the first round, I think that Maheta is going to be very diminished. And I think in the second round, Jon Jones is going to get the finish. I just don't think this is going to be a very competitive fight. I don't see Maheta being a guy with this type of skill set to challenge a guy like Jon Jones solely because he only has one avenue to win the fight. And that avenue isn't an avenue that a lot of other opponents haven't had. And, I don't see a guy that got dropped by Jack Marshman or a guy that got knocked out by David Branch or submitted by Eric Spicely. I just don't see that type of guy coming up and beating a Jon Jones. I just don't see it. We saw when he fought an elite fighter in Gegard Mousasi on the feet. He got pieced up. He got beat up in that fight. He does have that win over Anthony Smith. That's probably his best win of his career. That or Jan Blachowicz. But yeah, man, I just don't see it. I don't see him beating Jon Jones. I don't think that he's going to beat Jon Jones. I don't think that he's going to come close to beating Jon Jones. And I think that Jon Jones is going to get the finish over 5 rounds in this fight, man. So, yeah, my pick's going to be Jon Jones. My most confident pick of the night is going to be Jon Jones. And for the parlay of the week, I'm going to do Yadong Song and Jon Jones inside the distance as the parlay of the week. They don't have the line out on the inside the distance prop that I've seen for Jon Jones. I'm sure they have it out. I just haven't looked, but I'm going to actually place a bet on that as well myself, most likely, and that's going to be my parlay of the week with Yadong Song, John Jones inside the distance, and hopefully we can do well on this card. We could have another good week. That's 4 weeks in a row where we've cashed on the parlay of the week, so let's keep it going. Let's keep the positivity going. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, donate to PayPal, and if you're feeling generous for that, and if you're coming to UFC 239 once again, hit me up, let me know, if you want to kick it. There's going to be quite a few people that I'm trying to think, like I know Kyle Marley's going to be out here, and I saw a few other people talking about coming out here for International Fight Week, so maybe we could be able to get a crew together a couple of nights, one night, and do something, but so that's going to be the breakdown for this week, and I'll be back for Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series for the fights next week, and hopefully everyone enjoys this week's fights and enjoys International Fight Week.